Welcome back. So we are now on part 4 of the study guide. Part 1 was just kind of an overview of the study guide and the test. Part 2 of the study guide review was all the graphing. Part 3 was setting up every single word problem, and this one's going to be solving all of these. So all these word problems are set up for elimination except the age question. That's one set up for substitution. Obviously, you're in charge when you have your test in front of you. You can use whatever technique you want, but I'm going to highly recommend that if it's already set up for a certain technique, use that technique. Okay, so let's get started on the first one. We've already set this one up on our previous video. I have my setup written over here, and I've indicated what my variables mean. Desk is D, folder is F. So we're going to use elimination. Elimination is where we eliminate one of the two things. Either we eliminate the desks, or we eliminate the folders, whatever one's easiest for us. Now, my suggestion would be to eliminate the desks, and here's why. If I covered up this 2, you know what I'm hoping's under my hand? A -6. Because 6 take away 6, these desks would cancel nicely. But I know for a fact there's not a -6 under my hand because, well, I just covered it up and I looked. So, but if it was -6, that would be really awesome. But I know that I can tweak this question and make it work. How do I multiply a 2 to force it to be a -6? Or what do I multiply 2 by to force it to be a -6? Now, if you said -3, I agree. So let's look. -3 times 2, or just make it easier. What's 3 times 2? 6. Make it negative. Yep, those will definitely cancel. Now, I didn't do anything to the second one, so I'm just going to distribute. Remember, distribute is just a fancy word for multiply, and write that redone question right underneath the one I didn't touch. Negative times that's -15, and negative times that's -180. Now, if you absolutely need to use a calculator during this test, you are welcome to do so. So these cancel. 4 subtract 15, or 4 added to a -15, because we're adding going down, is -11. And then here we have 180 and 70. That's a -180 and 70, and that's going to be -110. I'm going to divide both sides by -11 because that's the opposite of multiply. And each folder will be, you can whip out your calculator right now and figure it out. Or if you have a multiplication chart, that's also pretty darn handy as well. But if you said a folder was $10, I agree. That's a pretty expensive folder, by the way. So folder $10, so I'm going to go over here and put that a folder is $10. Now I have 7.5 points on a 10-point question because I have the setup, 2.5, 2.5, and one of the answers, 2.5. But I need to find out the cost of a desk. Well, how do I do that? Well, you're going to use one of the 2 original questions. It doesn't matter which one. One of the ones in black is the one you're going to pick. I'm going to randomly pick the top one. So I'm going to write it down. I'm not going to touch anything about it. I'm writing it exactly down as it looks. And then I'm going to substitute in what I know about a folder. And a folder is $10. So we have 2D plus 5 times 10 equals 60. 2D plus 5 times 10 is 50. 2D is 10. And the desk is $5. Ms. Miller, why is the desk $5 but a folder is $10? I don't know. Don't ask really good questions. Obviously, I just made up a random weird question. Okay, so that is a 10-point answer. You got your beautiful setups that are written correctly, and you have your 2 answers with all work shown to prove how you got that. Perfect. Let's go to the next one. This is the dimes and quarter one. This one is also set up for eliminate. So dimes is D and quarters is Q. So we have dimes and quarters, we have 45 of them. We have dimes are 10 cents, we have quarters are 25 cents, and we have $5.25. That should go written over here where the equations are. Yes, I would like you to write it over here. It does make it a little bit easier for me to grade. And when I have to grade 150 tests, Please, Lordy, make it easy on me. Okay, thanks. Cool. So I'm going to write a magic number on my hand, a magic number that's going to eliminate all of these decimals because, well, I don't want them there. So I need a magic number that moves things over twice. So if I multiply by 10, it moves the decimal to the right once. If I multiply by 100, it moves the decimal over twice. And if I multiply by 1,000, it grabs that decimal and it moves it over to the right 3 times. Okay, so I'm going to multiply by 100, but I'm not going to write it here. So I'm just going to use my imagination and multiply through by 100. Do you see that I wrote 100 on my hands? So if I multiply this by 100, it moves the decimal over twice and the decimal disappears. But whatever I do to one, I do it to the others. I'm going to multiply that guy and that guy. Okay. Now our goal is to have something eliminate. Negative 10 would cancel beautifully. Like if I could write a negative 10 there, ooh, that would be nice. But I can't just write it there. I have to, multiply through. I could also do negative 25. But negative 10 is the easier one to use. The one closest to 0 is the one you should go for. I'm going to distribute. I'm going to cancel. I'm going to add going down. I got 15 cubed because 25 take away 10 is 15. And then here I have 75 because 525 minus 450 is 75. I'm going to divide both sides by 15, and you can use calculator here, you can use a multiplication chart, whatever you feel you need to do. Quarters are going to be 5. So there's going to be 5 quarters because 15 times 5 is 75. So there's going to be 5 quarters. But that doesn't answer all the questions. I need to know about dimes as well. Okay, so we know that dimes and quarters, there are 45. If I know for a fact there are 5 quarters, I can plug this in. Now some of you can do this part in your own head. Mental math is your jam. You can do it, and that's fine too. I don't have an issue with that. So there's going to ultimately be 40 dimes and 5 quarters. Cool beans. I think I'm going to stop the video here because I'm already up to like 7.5 minutes, and then I'll do the next 3 on the next video, okay? Maybe you should try the next 3 and solve them yourself before I get to them to see how well you can do, okay? Give it a try. Don't let me be the thinker. You're the thinker. You're the beautiful brained young person that can do this. I know you can.